Good morning, grade 11 students. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about the critical reading and thinking strategies. Let's have the lesson outcome. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to determine the specific reading strategy to use with specific text, to understand the specific thinking strategies to use with specific text. When you read any kind of text, it is necessary that you may know the key feature and the organizational pattern of structure of the text. It is also important for you to use the special strategies, so you may have to know what strategies are and what strategy to use with a particular text. Combining your understanding about the structure of a particular text, you will be able to read different texts more easily and with understanding. Good readers use the following reading strategies. First one, previewing. One important way to preview a piece of writing is to read the first sentence of each paragraph. This is because the conversational style used in English requires the writer to use the first sentence of paragraph to summarize the entire paragraph. Next one, activating prior knowledge. Activating prior knowledge is using information you already know in previous personal experiences to create meaning in what you have read. Activating prior knowledge is especially important in reading expository and persuasive texts. You can activate prior knowledge related to an essay you are reading by asking yourself a question that helps you to remember related facts and ideas. Making prediction. When you make predictions, you try to guess what will happen next. Try to make predictions as you read a story or a play. Making predictions help you be a more active reader. Making prediction is normally based on your schema. What you know about the world. You also base your prediction on the picture being presented by the author. What kind of picture does the author paint? Bright, a sad one, a serious one, a humorous, desperate? A prediction usually follows the current situation. Think of what usually happens in a given set of conditions. For example, a woman is walking home. The sky is getting full of dark, and she does not have any umbrella at all. Your prediction could be that it would rain and she would end up coming home soaked. The next day, she would have a fever and she would not be able to take part in an event she is scheduled to attend. Visualizing. When you visualize, you make an image of something in your mind. You also think about what you hear, taste, and feel. Visualizing helps you to enjoy the story more. Visualizing is especially important in reading descriptive and narrative texts. Understanding the sequence of events. A sequence of events is the order in which the event in a story happen. You will understand a text better if you note which event come one after the other, which event happened at the same time, and which events cause another events. A narrative has word clues that indicate sequencing, such as then, before, after, next, and later. Identifying main idea and details. The main idea is the most important idea in a text. It may be explicit or directly stated in sentences form in the text. If it is implicitly or directly stated, you as the reader will have to state the main idea in your own words. Next one, asking questions. Asking question is a sentence that asks an interrogative question. Good readers ask questions when they read. Ask questions about how important the task you are reading is. how the events relate to one another, why characters act in a certain way, and how you understand what you are reading. You can combine the skills of asking questions in the form of activating prior knowledge using KWL of what you know, what I want to know, and what I have learned. Next one, paraphrasing. When you paraphrase, you put part of reading in your own words. You take complex idea and simplify them. This helps you to understand difficult parts of a reading. Paraphrasing can also help you to remember information. You can start paraphrasing by encircling words or phrases that you think are the key words. Drawing conclusions. Writers do not always tell you everything about the characters or events in the story. Instead, they give you clues or hints. You can use clues or drawing conclusion from details in the text. Drawing conclusions is especially important in reading expository and persuasive texts. Remember, in your science class, you were asked to do experiments and form conclusion. In doing experiment, you started with a set of situations. Then, perform some activities, produce results, and finally, drew a conclusion. Recognizing mood in poetry. Poems can make one feel sad or happy. To determine the mood of a poem, ask yourself what you feel when you read it. You can practice recognizing mood in a poetry by reading several poems and becoming aware of how you feel as you read each poem. Next one, comparing and contrasting. Comparing is determining how things are the same. Contrasting is determining how things are different. When you read a text, you can compare and contrast characters, events, settings, and details. Comparing and constructing is especially important in reading expository and persuasive texts. A common way of comparing and contrasting is using the intersecting lines called Venn diagram. In the intersection, you write the similarities. On the other side, you write the differences. You can pick out specific comparison or contrast by paying attention to the expression that signal comparison or contrast. Tailing next, putting text information in an outline. Outlines help you to put information in order. The headings and the subheadings in a text can help you to determine the main topic and the subtopic for the outline. Putting text information in an outline is especially important in reading expository, descriptive, and persuasive texts. Identifying cause and effect. When you identify cause and effect, you identify the events that causes another event. The first event is usually the cause, and the second event is usually the effect. Identifying cause and effect is especially important in reading expository and persuasive texts. One way to identify cause and effect would be to pay attention to a word clue. Some words signify cause, such as a because, caused by, and from. Other words may signal effect, such as resulting in, produced, as a result, and hence. Sometimes you read a chain reaction. This involves one condition causing another condition, which in turn a result into yet another condition. Summarizing. When you summarize a reading or a section of a reading, you give only the most important part or ideas. A summary is a brief. Summarizing helps you to remember the important information in a reading. Summarizing is useful in reading all kinds of the text. Interpreting. Interpreting is thinking about what a writer is really saying in a text and then using one schema, that is, one knowledge of the world, to answer the question about what a writer really say in the text. It involves finding a deeper meaning than what is explicitly stated in the text. Interpreting is useful in reading all kinds of texts. Inferring. Inferring is a process used by a reader to understand an idea that the author does not state explicitly. This is done by combining his own knowledge and background with details and clues stated by the author. Distinguishing fact from opinion. Fact are statements that can be proved true or false by using reliable sources, such as encyclopedia. Opinions are belief or judgment. The writer's opinions do not have to be verified because they are influenced by the writer's attitude or belief. Distinguishing fact from opinion is especially important in reading expository and persuasive texts. A fact is an idea that is already proven or it is obviously true. An opinion is an unverified idea. Last one, synthesizing. When you draw conclusions, you can develop judgment or opinions about the author's message. When you synthesize, you put together this conclusion in other ideas to form new overall understanding. Synthesizing is especially important in reading expository, persuasive, and descriptive texts. Reading a text provides you with new knowledge.